Hey everybody, welcome to Chapter 12, Section 3. Here I'm going to talk to you about surface areas of pyramids and cones. It's going to be pretty similar to Section 2, only the main difference here is, see that cursive L? That cursive L is called my slant height, okay? So the slant height, if you will, is if you were to take like a slice of the pyramid, it would make like a triangle. And it's going to be the hypotenuse of the triangle, if you could see that in the red dashed lines there. So what I'm going to do is, to find the surface area, I'm going to do 1/2 times the perimeter of the base, and I'm going to times that by this slant height, and then I'm going to add that to the area of the base. So we're going to have to recall some area formulas. Look them up in Chapter 11 if you need more help with the area of the base formulas. But for starters, let's see what I'm given here. I'm given 6.9, that's my apothem. I'm given 10, that's a side length. And then 15, that's your slant height, that's the cursive L. Okay, so let's start with getting the perimeter. That's pretty easy to do. Perimeter is just, well, we have a pentagon here, so that's 5 sides of 10, and so you have a perimeter of 50. So I need to do 1/2 times the perimeter plus times L, and that's going to be my lateral area. So I'm going to say lateral area equals 1/2 times 50 perimeter times my slant height of 15. Okay. And I get 375. The next step would be to figure out the area of my base. Once I figure out the area of the base, you are going to add that to your lateral area. Okay, so I'm just going to write big B. And if you don't remember the formula for a regular polygon, it's going to be 1/2 times A times P. So 1/2 times the apothem of 6.9 times your perimeter, which you figured out was 50 earlier. So type all that into your calculator, 50 times 6.9 divided by 2, and you get 172.5. Okay, so that's my area of the base. So my surface area is just going to be 375 plus that 172.5 number. And you get a surface area of 547.5 centimeters squared. Okay, so that wraps it up on that example. Let's move on to B. Here on B, I don't give you the slant height. So that's the first thing we're going to have to figure out. If you notice, the slant height is, I said it before, it's going to be the hypotenuse of that triangle in the dashed red line or pink line. So I'm going to do the Pythagorean Theorem here. I'm going to do the square root of 16 squared plus 12 squared. Well, actually, it's not going to be 12 squared. It's going to be 6 squared, because 12 is the entire length of the base. So if that's going right into the middle, that's going to be 6. This will be 6. The whole thing will be 12. So, yeah, so I have 6, 16, and then you don't know. So the square root of 16 squared plus 6 squared is approximately 17.09. Okay, now I know my slant height. So now let's go back and look at the formula. The lateral area is that first part of the formula. And then your surface area is the whole thing. So I'm going to do 1/2 times the perimeter of the base times my slant height. So the perimeter of my base, I'm given one side, so I can assume that this is a square. So I'm just going to say P equals 12 times 4, which is 48. So I'm going to go LA equals 1/2 times 48 times 17.09. And type that into your calculator, you're going to get 410.16. That's your lateral area, okay? So I just need to figure out my area of my base. My base was a square. So 12 times 12 is 144. Okay, now I just need to do surface area equals your lateral area plus the area of the base. So 410.16 plus 144. So my surface area is 554.16 square centimeters. All right, so that's about as difficult as those are going to get, where I give you the slant height and or I don't give you the slant height, or I don't give you the height of the pyramid, something like that. You'll have to do the Pythagorean Theorem to start it off, and then everything falls into place after that. So let's look at the back of the paper, and we're going to do the lateral and surface area of a cone. It's pretty similar to the cylinder example from yesterday. We're going to use that slant height again. So we're going to find the lateral area first. That's just pi times r times the slant height. And the surface area would be added to the area of the base, which is pi r squared. That would be the capital B. There's not a capital B in this, but yeah, so this would be L plus B. So the surface area would be the lateral area plus the area of the base. So let's see here. I don't know my lateral area on this. My slant height. So I'm going to do Pythagorean Theorem again. I'm going to do 16 squared plus 12 squared. And since the slant height's the hypotenuse, you add them together, it's square root it. So go ahead and type that into your calculator. You're going to get 20, exactly 20. Okay, so I found my slant height. So now I can do pi times my radius times my slant height for the lateral area. So that's what I'm going to write down next. L equals pi times my radius of 12 times my slant height of 20. That's going to get me a lateral area of approximately 753.98. All right. And then my total surface area, well, that's the next step, is finding the area of the base. And then I can do the total surface area, add it together. So my area of my base, remember, is that pi r squared. So I'm going to go pi times 12 squared. And that's going to get me about 452.39. Okay, so my surface area is the L plus the B. So surface area equals 753.98 plus 452.39. And that comes to a total of 1,206.37, and that would be square feet for my unit. Okay? So I'm going to do one more example, and if you notice, we're not given the height of this cone. See how 16 was the height before, but we're not given the height? But look at your formula. My formula says pi times the radius times my slant height plus pi times r squared. So do I need to know the height of the cone? I actually don't. I just need to know this, the 15. Now, helps to know my radius, but that's just half of 14.8, so that's 7.4. So I'm going to just go pi times r times L, or your cursive L, I should say, because L is your lateral area. So pi times r of 7.4 times slant height of 15. You get a lateral area of 348.717, so I'll round that to 0.72. Okay, so that's my lateral area. And then I'm going to do my surface area. Well, I'm going to do my area of the base next. So area of my base is pi r squared. And once you get the hang of this, you can really just do it in one step. You know, because this is the notes, I'm just really trying to break it down and go step by step. But really, like I said, you can do this in one step, especially if you know the slant height already. So pi r squared would be pi times 7.4 squared. And that's going to give me an answer of about 172.03. Oh, that's a 3. And yeah, so just add these two together. 348.72 plus 172.03. And I get a surface area of about 520.75 square centimeters. And that'll close it for the notes on this section. Until next time, goodbye, everybody.